Good afternoon. It's Monday, April 3rd. I'm Aryeh O'Sullivan, and this is IBA News broadcasting from Jerusalem. Head of the Histadrut Labor Federation, Avi Nissenkorn, today declared a general labor dispute in the public sector, including all government companies, over the issue of public broadcasting in Israel. The declaration means that if no solution is reached regarding the fate of both workers from the Israel Broadcasting Authority and those of the new Broadcasting Corporation, which is slated to replace the IBA at the end of April, then a general strike will be called in 2 weeks' time that threatens to paralyze the entire public sector. Nissenkorn lashed out at the draft agreement reached between Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Finance Minister Moshe Kahlon, which he claimed abused employers of both broadcasting entities and turned them against each other. The Histadrut claims that the agreement, which seeks to establish an independent news department separate from the rest of the new Broadcasting Corporation, has far-reaching implications for the labor relations and workers' rights. The labor union stressed that the changes were made in complete disregard for the workers' representatives and their demands. Meanwhile, the Knesset vote over the controversial draft agreement regarding the fate of public broadcasting, which was slated to take place this Wednesday, has been delayed until the 19th of April, following the Passover holiday. Aside from more confusion and uncertainty for employees of both IBA and Khan, the delay in voting will now allow the government more time to finalize the amendment to the public broadcasting law. 2 petitions against the deal were today submitted to the High Court of Justice, one by the Israeli Press Association, which demands that the draft agreement be canceled and be blocked from becoming a law. The second by attorney and publicist Eldad Yaniv, who also called on the court to disqualify the deal due to what he called biased involvement of politicians in public broadcasting. Meanwhile, amid growing public discontent, the Justice Ministry has given Netanyahu the green light to deal with matters related to the communications sector, even though he is no longer the official communications minister. Responding to 2 separate appeals submitted by the Movement of Quality Government, as well as publicist Eldad Yaniv, the Justice Ministry said there are situations in which the Prime Minister is barred from dealing with such issues due to a conflict of interest. But it stressed that dealing with the public broadcasting law does not constitute such a case and does not raise any such concern. At the same time, the draft agreement has also triggered dispute within the Attorney General's office. After Attorney General Avichai Mandelblit gave his approval for the deal, his deputy, Avi Licht, now says he objects to the Netanyahu-Kahlon agreement. Well, Minister of Education Minister Bennett today continued to criticize the government's latest policy regarding restrained settlement construction. In an interview with Kol Israel Radio this morning, Bennett reiterated he doesn't see eye to eye with the Prime Minister on the matter. Bennett said Netanyahu favors a 2-state solution, which he himself is opposed to. Yesterday, Bennett said he believed Israel wasted a strategic opportunity to persuade the Trump administration to drop the 2-state solution from the agenda. Last Thursday, Netanyahu presented the Security Cabinet with new policies formulated together with Washington officials, which is based on limiting new construction to existing settlement areas or adjacent to them and does not permit unauthorized outposts to be built. Former Education Minister Shai Piron and 2 former chiefs of staff, Gabi Ashkenazi and Benny Gantz, announced the establishment of a social movement today called Pnima, or Inwards. At a press conference in Lod, they said the aim of the new movement is to heal the rifts in Israeli society and encourage dialogue. The 3 rejected claims that the movement is a cover for a political party. Ashkenazi told reporters that the aim is to end incitement and baseless hatred by talking and getting to know one another. Gantz said that while he believes politics is important, the divisions in society must be dealt with. Former Education Minister Piron, the founder of the movement, said having been involved in the political arena in the past, he believes the most effective way to make change is through social activism. Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is slated to meet with U.S. President Donald Trump in Washington later this evening. Arab media outlets are reporting that al-Sisi will present the Trump administration with a list of guidelines for a substantial peace agreement between Israel and the Palestinians that is based on a principle of a 2-state solution. The Egyptian initiative is reportedly aimed at renewing peace talks between the 2 sides, during which settlement activity will have to come to a complete halt and Palestinian security prisoners will have to be released. In a clear message to other countries and terror groups in the region, Israel has announced that the David Sling medium-range missile interceptor is now operationally deployed. Joining the Iron Dome and Arrow systems, Israel is now the only country in the world with a complete missile shield. The Hatzor Air Base in the center of the country is where Israel proudly displayed its homegrown anti-missile interceptor. The David Sling, also known as the Magic Wand, is designed to shoot down rockets fired from 100 to 200 kilometers away. Developed and manufactured jointly by Israel's state-owned Rafael Advanced Defense Systems and the U.S. Raytheon Corporation, it will likely bear the brunt of shooting down any rockets fired in the future by Hezbollah. Speaking at the base, Prime Minister Netanyahu warned, "Whomever wishes to strike us will be struck. Whomever threatens our existence will put himself in existential danger." Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman added that this system was unique in the world and was an answer to all those who wish to destroy Israel, who to my regret still exist. David Sling is the final brick in the defensive shield wall that Israel has built to protect the country from incoming rockets and missiles. It joins the Iron Dome, which intercepts short-range rockets fired by the Palestinians, and the long-range Arrow anti-ballistic missiles, which can intercept rockets Iran threatens to launch at the Jewish state. A report released by the Human Rights Watch is accusing Israel of preventing its workers from entering the Gaza Strip. The 47-page report released yesterday says Israel's restrictions questioned its commitment to investigating possible rights violations. The report also criticizes Egypt for barring access to the Gaza Strip and Hamas's refusal to cooperate with the organization's investigators. Sari Bashi, the organization's local director, said if Israel wants the International Criminal Court prosecutor to take its argument seriously, the first good step would be to allow human rights researchers to bring the relevant material to light. Egypt, who opposes Hamas, which took over the Gaza Strip in 2007, has said it will agree to allow the Rafah crossing to remain open only if it's manned by Palestinian Authority personnel and not Hamas. Israel maintains control of the Kerem Shalom and Erez crossings. A leaked document claiming to be the new charter for the Hamas terror organization calls for the creation of a Palestinian state based on pre-1967 lines, with Jerusalem as its capital, but vows to seize all historic Palestine through violence. According to the details published on the Al Mayadeen news channel, the terrorist organization still refuses to recognize Israel as the Jewish state, saying Hamas rejects all alternatives to liberating Palestine from the river to the sea. The new charter makes a distinction between Israel and Zionism and the Jewish people, saying we distinguish between Judaism and Israel and the Zionist program, and our conflict is with the Zionist plan and not the Jews. Police are investigating the murder of a 35-year-old woman who was fatally shot this morning while driving her car in the village of Ramah in the Galilee. According to paramedics who arrived at the scene, the woman suffered gunshot wounds to her chest and they pronounced her dead. Police said the circumstances leading to her death are still unclear and that while they're investigating the number of possibilities, no suspects have been arrested yet. A military court sentenced Yisrael Toledano, a Haredi draft dodger, to 56 days in a military prison for failing to enlist in the army. The court is scheduled to hold another hearing to decide whether Toledano will be allowed out of the prison for the upcoming Passover holiday. Toledano's arrest 3 weeks ago sparked a number of protests by ultra-Orthodox Jews across the country, where they blocked roads and resisted police efforts to disperse them, resulting in violent clashes and a number of arrests. Meanwhile, a Haredi group called the Committee for the Rescue of the World of Torah is threatening to disrupt operations at Ben Gurion Airport over Passover to protest against the drafting of yeshiva students. A Dutch court ruled in favor of 2 Amsterdam residents who asked to remove a pavement plaque bearing the name of a Holocaust survivor, saying it compromises the atmosphere of their upscale neighborhood and its existence was a constant reminder of the deportation of Jews and attracts passersby, which they call an invasion of their privacy. The brass plaque bears the name of Joachim A.T., who lived at the address before he was deported and sent to a concentration camp where he died in 1945. The 2 residents sued the city, asking the plaque be removed altogether. City workers dislodged the plaque and moved it to another site far away from the entrance of the building. The percentage of Jews from the Netherlands murdered by the Nazis was higher than any other Western European country. An Israeli drone maker says his company has received the first certificate in the world to fly an automated drone without a human operator. According to the CEO of Aerobotics, while self-flying drones have been launched before, his company has produced a quadcopter that is capable of carrying a 1-kilo payload and flies at a speed of 35 kilometers an hour. The drone can remain airborne for half an hour.
Future has so many possibilities using this specific thing, if you think about it. Flying in cities for emergency response situations or applications, and being able to take off from one station and landing in another. So that extends the range dramatically. Also, one of the first investors in this company and the guy to see this potential was Noam Bardeen from Waze, so that's another big challenge. How do you fly these things in the city or out of the city without colliding with other aircrafts or other drones? You need to map the sky. So the future looks bright, and this is the building block.
Stock talk now, and shares were down on the Tel Aviv stock market, while the shekel put in a mixed performance in foreign currency trading. Here are the late afternoon numbers. Taking a look at the weather, and the forecast is for sunny skies with a dramatic rise in temperatures tomorrow. Strong northerly winds are expected along the coast in the afternoon. Here are the expected highs and lows at home and abroad for the next 24 hours. That's all for today. I'm Aryeh O'Sullivan. I'll be back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Until then, thanks for watching, and shalom from Jerusalem.